Hey everybody, welcome to Review Time with Islip. I am Islip, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformed starting in 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to Review Time with Islip. I'm Islip, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Siege War for Cybertron trilogy, Starscream. And here he is in his Tetrajet mode, and it is very evocative of the Battlestar Galactica ships from the original series. And here he is from the underside, and you can see it's just like his knees and his arms are like right there. It's just, I know there's an issue with jet formers turning into jets without having extra kibble bits, but this is ridiculous. There's almost the whole robot is down there, and then you got his chest on the back, and that's stupid looking too. Thankfully, if you want to, it pops off easy enough, so you can just have it like that. I don't know if that's any better because I can see his head, and it is not the greatest of alt modes. I will tell you that. Let me get this back on real quick. Not at all. They could have definitely done a better job with this. Is it really no wonder why people tend to turn to third parties when you don't care enough about your first party stuff to complete the job? You're just like, okay, it's good enough and they'll be fine with it. And no, this will be the only Tetrajet I'm getting. Also, I really don't like this. I don't like this quote-unquote paint where it looks like garbage. I think I will be painting over this guy. This is just the worst. This is ridiculously bad. His guns with his null rays, which don't really honestly look like they should, but they plug into any number of these ports underneath. You can plug them under the wing a la G1, or plug them into various ports in what will be the arms. Doesn't make a difference. It looks basically the same. It's not a bad design. I mean, I like the whole top. It's just the whole that and that. I mean, I don't even mind the thrusters being up at the top. It's just all of this looks like garbage. I mean, if they would have molded in thrusters on here and then had it flip so it went around like this, yeah, you know what? And maybe have this cockpit fold down a little bit more, or turn around, or be painted underneath or something, I would have been fine with that too. I really would have. Yes, I am complaining. It's what I do when I don't like a figure. It's not that I don't like this figure. It's just, for what you pay for it, this was $30. For what you pay for it, this should have been a lot better. Let's go ahead and here is Megatron. I'll go ahead and stick him on top of Megatron. That's the only good thing that those feet are good for. Get a size comparison there. So, yeah. And let me go ahead and get his G1 self. Okay, here's this with his G1 self. Let me go ahead and adjust the camera. And, I mean, this one has its issues. Obviously, it's gappy where it shouldn't be, but, and now it's rolling. But, I mean, this, I don't know. Like, I know it's supposed to be a Tetrajet, but they could have done better. What they should have done is but they should have taken the designs for was it Impossible Toys Tetrajets and just modified them. I mean, they're not making any toys anymore anyway, and it's technically their IP. So taking that and modified it, because I've seen they've taken quote unquote inspiration from third party companies to improve their figures. So they could have done it with this. Let's go ahead and get this out the way. Well, one last comparison for his vehicle mode, and that's with the Classics Starscream, which again, still way better. I mean, look, you can kind of still see the robot underneath it, but it's not as egregious as this. This is just ridiculous. And let's take a look at the back of the jet modes. And that looks like a jet. That looks like the chest of the robot strapped to the back with the cockpit on the back. So, and also, his null rays should look like these. Gotta paint these gray to match the other guy, but they should look like this. Not like this. Okay, that's just not good. They're little rifles. Look at that. They got scopes on them. Who thought that was a good idea? Like, you're supposed to be evoking the G1 Tetra Jets. Give them the proper weapons. So, now, he's got holes everywhere, so if you want, you can take... Oops. Well, we're going to take these off. You can take... you can see he's got 5mm ports there. Technically, on his feet, these are all 5mm ports. You can take... We'll take Brunt here, and we're going to plug them up. And if you want, you can plug them up and beef Starscream out. It's something you can do, even in vehicle mode. Stick that in there. Okay. Take this, plug this in like this, and it's not lunchtime, and is that all of it? And then we can just take these and stick these on wherever. It doesn't matter. You can stick if you want to, or stick them on the side of the... We'll stick them up here. Yeah, we'll stick them up there. And we'll try to... Whoops. Get it a little balanced. I had this balanced earlier. This wasn't falling over like it is now. I don't know why it's falling over, but maybe it's that. Maybe that's what's pushing it over. Yeah, that was what's pushing it. Okay. And come on. So also doesn't help that I'm on... I've got... everything is on my bed. Just like I used to do. Okay, that's part of why. Okay, you're facing forward. Stop that. But anyway, so... Oops. Let's bring this back a little bit. So you can see, yeah, you can do that if you want to. I mean, it looks ridiculous, but you can. You can also take that off if you want to. And if you have fire effects or blast effects, if you want to, you can add them to the back, like, you know, like that, and have it look like he's flying, or, you know, double flying. You can take the other effects and add them to the front of his weapon so that it looks like he's shooting. You can do that. It's something you can do. I'll be honest with you, I really am not overly excited. I mean, I really wanted to get this, because he looks better in his robot mode, and I really wanted to get this guy, but... so I can have more Decepticons, because I have a bunch of the Autobots, and they're okay. I like them. I mean, I don't necessarily love them all, but I like them. But the Decepticons are really not that great, you know. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get them transformed, so we'll go ahead and flip that like that. We'll take these and unplug them from the sides. Get this out, so we got that like that. And we'll take what's going to be the legs, and we'll move them. Bring this up. This here splits like so. We'll just get this all flipped around like so. This opens and pegs back there. We'll take these, flip these up like so. And we'll leave that like that. Take this bits, rotate that around, bring this down, and that become his chest with his cockpit there. Open up these. Now, how do we open you up again? I forget. Like that. Rotate his fists out. close that up and bring that out, and there we go. We have one side done. Other side, open, flip around. Might as well just do that, and there we go. 2 arms done. Open these up so his feet are done. That's like the easiest part. Bring this part up, detach that part, and that can go down. And then this here, these peg in to these slots here. We'll go ahead and get those aligned and slotted in. Okay, and then these just kind of come out, and you angle them the way you want to, and there we have Starscream. Let me go ahead and, oops, wrong way, zoom in a little bit, Starscream. There we go. And there we have Starscream, and he is pretty okay. Again, don't like this mess. I don't like this mess. And unfortunately, because he's gray, his colors are a little too blah. You know, they're very bland, but that was, you know, that's not the fault so much of, well, actually, they could have used a better gray plastic than that. They could have used, like this kind of gray, which, like, you can look, it's gray, but it's got a bit of a silverish sheen to it. And that would have just been so much better than, like, we got unpainted plastic, unpainted, the grayish with the slight tannish black plastic with a bunch of other colorful plastic, and then the paint they did put on there just garbage. Just garbage. Some people might like the paint wear look. I don't, because they didn't do a good job. They did a very horrible job. You know, a nice effort, I would say. And if you're hearing noises, that's me transforming another figure to get it ready for, you know, what do you call it? You know, starts with a C. Comparison, there we go. So, what the hell was that? Anyway, so yeah. So we get that. I also forgot to put his null rays on, and they go up on the shoulders. I mean, you can technically put them down here if you want to, which would make it easier for him to use them. You can take them and put them in his hands. I mean, he did do this. I remember him and the Seekers doing this with their guns, holding it like it's a rifle. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense for it looking like a rifle, but I'm going to have to go over this with paint. I don't know if I'm going to do white, a different kind of gray, or if I'm just going to go with silver. Like, I like silver Starscream. But, it's not a bad sculpt. The sculpt, especially in this mode, it's pretty good. I like the look of them. I'll just rotate them around. So, and these are posable. You can put them back more if you want to. You can rotate them, so you can have them flared out like a cape if you want to. There's lots of posing options with that. He has a hole in his dingus area, so you can put him on a flight stand. I don't think I have a flight stand that will work with him. Here he is with his Classics version. Classics, not Henkei. I think this is just regular Classics. I think the Henkei was white. He looks good. He looks good. I mean, I can't say that I prefer him over... Oh, let's close his boobies. I can't say I prefer him over him, if I'm honest. I mean, he has a lot more articulation, and of course a lot more sculpt, but he's just the perfect blend of G1 and updatedness. And I don't know. Here he is with the G1 feller. And okay, yeah, that's he's obviously, I I was gonna say I obviously prefer this guy to this guy, but honestly, I really do like the way this guy looks. But I am a G1er, so that's a bit of my biasness. But he looks pretty good, except for that, and obviously the color of the gray paint I don't really dig. Here he is with Megatron, which is why I bought him. So Megatron would have his second or third or fourth or whatever command he is, and it looks good. It looks good together. I think he has a lot more detail than the Megatron does, so it doesn't quite match. And also Megatron's a lot blockier than he should be, but this actually matches the what we saw in was the Power of the Primes and the War for Cybertron, not War for Cyber, the Power of the Primes and the Combiner Wars trilogy. That's what I should say. So he matches that aesthetic a lot better. I still hate the splotchiness, but the gray on him is better than the gray on him. That's a much more pleasing gray than that is. That's almost white. Like it's not. Ugh. And here he is with a deluxe from this series, six gun, and yeah, yeah. I mean, it's six gun. That's And again, you can in this mode if you want to rip apart. Another bot will take brunt again and just attach him. Whoops, he's back heavy. Okay, and I'll just move him back in and hold him so you can pretend that this balancing act is working. And I mean, it looks silly. I mean, it really does. It's always gonna look silly, you know. I mean, if you want to maybe take this and plug it into his arm here as an arm cannon or whatever, and just plug it in there. And it doesn't matter. You understand the concept. You can plug in a bunch of stuff. So, well, let go. It doesn't want to let go. So we're gonna go into his. Oh, okay, that was cold. His articulation. Let me go ahead and adjust the camera a bit. His articulation. So his head is on a ball joint, so you get a lot of this. There is light piping. Let's see if I can get this to work. You can kind of see it working. I mean, see, but I'm not. Oops. Nope. Don't get me copyrighted. Uh, it is light piping. I don't care about light piping. I'll probably paint his eyes when I get a chance. 360 at the shoulder. We got in and out here. Rotation at the upper bicep. Double elbows, so you can get a deep bend. His wrists are on, they do spin. So, yay. Yay for spinning. Let's turn this up so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, he has a bit of ab rotation, no crunch. His legs go forward that far and only go back that far because of the kibble on the back. Without the kibble, he'd be able to get a lot more. They go all the way out. Rotate 360 at the upper thigh. He gets this much of a bend, and because of transformation, this piece goes in, and if you do that, you can actually get even more of a bend. So yeah, so you can. Oh, and he's got slight pivot, and his toes kind of squish in, his heel squishes in, and that's about. And there's a bit like, yeah, you can get his foot to to do stuff. So you can get him into dynamic poses if you need to. I forgot there's also a joint there. I think that's more for transformation, but there's a joint there, so you can, you know, get his arm over more if you need to. I don't know why you need to, because it doesn't really do anything. It's not, you know. So let's go ahead and put that back in. But yeah, you can get, if you need to, you can get poses out of him. See his head, you can rotate it down due to transformation. So if you need him to look like he's about to take off, there you go. I also forgot his wings go up and down a little bit and rotate backwards. Rotate like so. So yeah, you've got a lot of articulation. So he's not a bad toy. The sculpt is good, and the articulation is good, and none of his parts are loose. Feeling like his joints are all, they're not too stiff, they're just right. They are just right. So yeah, he looks good in this. I mean, I'm not too fond of the that openness right there. I'm not fond of how that looks. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. That's the way it was, you know. But for the rest of the toy, though, like, there's not really much in the way of openness. It's just really the back of the wings. So, I mean, his sculpt work is nice. His guns are nice. They just don't scream secret to me. And that's a problem to me. I mean, I need to fix that. I need to fix that. If they would have just come with like, even just what they had for the classics line, like, even that looks fairly decent. It's not quite as big as it should be, but it's still fairly decent. But the classics null rays, those are the fit. I might actually take from my custom Cloud Starscream. Take his. See, that's my custom Cloud Starscream right there. Let's bring this out a little bit. For comparison, you can see what a little bit of love can do. And look at that. Look at that paint. That's good. That's good. This no good. But yeah, even if they would have taken the classic null rays and stuck them on it, whoo, that fell down. I wasn't expecting him to fall down. Let me adjust him a little bit better. But I think even that would have been, well, maybe that's a little bit too big. Maybe that's why they went with these. But I mean, if it would have with something, maybe a streamlined version of this instead of these. I mean, this doesn't look like a null ray. This looks like a gun. It looks like he's got guns strapped to his shoulder, like handguns strapped to his shoulder, whereas these look like they belong on his shoulder. Let's go on here. In case y'all forgot, I made this guy using spray paint, a Blitzwing, and War for Cybertron Thundercracker head repainted. That's how I made this guy here. That's why his face kind of looks a little weird. Also a little small, but it fits without having to use that stupid spring gimmick. So, yeah, this guy is good. He's not $30 good, if I'm honest with you. He shouldn't have been $30. $20 maybe, $15 even better. He's solid, and in this mode, he looks, for the most part, great, with the exception of these hollow wings. And also the paint. The paint, again, that's the problem, the paint. This whole splotchy... what is this supposed to be, anyway? Because it doesn't look like it was paint wear, like it was, you know, scraped. Like up here kind of looks a little bit like it was scraped off. But here, it looks like it was thrown on. Like, did he kick a bucket? I don't get it. And I'm never a fan of amber cockpits. That's just not my thing. Cockpits aren't amber. They're just not. They're clear. I'll take a blue one, purple, whatever, something darker. That said, I know I've done a lot of nitpicking, and I'm a reviewer. That's what I do. However, this figure has a lot of good points. I mean, this robot mode looks really good. The Battlestar Galactica mode from certain angles looks really good. The paint looks horrible. These null rays out of place. They don't fit him. They don't look right. Um, the chest going on the back of the whatchamacallit, but I do like how the nose section of the plane splits apart and flips over to become his his shoulder things. I think that was actually really clever. There was a lot of bit of cleverness here. Just, I don't know, it felt almost like maybe they ran out of time, where they said, okay, this is good enough. We don't need to really collapse the legs in or whatever. We don't have to hide the arms better. It's good enough. And no, no, not for $30. It's not good enough. See, this is one of the reasons why I'll pay extra for a third party figure than spend the same amount or even less on a regular figure if there's another one. If there was a Tetrajet version of this available that looked good, or even just available, I probably would have gone with a third party one. If Impossible Toys, no, I wouldn't have gone with the Impossible Toy one because that was not a fun toy. But it looked good in its jet mode. It looked decent in its whatchamacallit mode. Maybe the face needed some help, but they could have added a little bit more engineering into this guy to get him to do what he needed to do. That's all I'm saying. Like most of the rest of the figures, they do what they need to do to hide what they need to hide, and this guy just kind of doesn't. It's like they said, "Oh, jet former, we don't really have to try," and I have a problem with that. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I know it was long-winded. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, Update: I am uploading. I'm trying to start to upload my videos onto my review time with my review time Facebook page. So this way, I don't know what's going to happen with YouTube. I don't get paid from doing these YouTube videos, so it was never a thing. I don't really care if I don't get paid, so that's not a big thing. But if I'm making these videos and nobody can see them because they're toy videos, so automatically toy videos are aimed at kids, and they're not. These are not aimed for kids. If you're under 16 and you're watching this, that's on you. I'm doing this as an adult collector for adult collectors, for adults, because for a kid, this was perfectly fine. For an adult who paid the money and expects something, this is not quite. So, that's it. I'm Islip. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and ciao. Also, not for kids.